Park Theater renovation is really coming along. The most exciting news is that the steel above the stage has been placed and the work on the stage is moving quickly.
Right now we're putting the metal decking down. As soon as they get done with that, I've got to run some edge forms and then we'll start putting our steel in there and get it ready to pour. And I don't know if you've noticed out back, we've got our foundation up and got it poured. I've got some grade work to do out there and put down a vapor barrier. And then Monday we got precast panels coming for out there.
Lots of other work is continuing now too, including lighting installation.
Right now you can see they've installed the majority of the can lights in the main auditorium ceiling. They're working on putting in blocking and the rigging for the chandeliers, and we're also putting the can lights in on the ceiling above the seating area here.
The terrazzo floor has been heavily abused in the last 75 years, so a crew came up to get started on the refinishing process.
I had the terrazzo crew up here. They ground and polished one section so everybody can see what the finished product's going to look like. And they took their samples. What they have to do is cut samples of each color. They send it to a lab in Chicago, and then they formulate the mix. And that's about a 2-week process. So they'll be ready whenever we get our rough ends done to come in and knock that thing out. I'm kind of anxious to see that underway. That's going to be an interesting process there. It'll have to be done before we get to the actual finishes, because just the process of restoring it, there's a lot of water involved. You don't want your drywall and your trim and stuff getting wet. We'll do the framing and get all our roughing work in the walls and the ceiling done, then I'll bring them in. They'll refurbish the floor, then I'll cover it and protect it. Then we'll move on to the drywall and the finishes on the walls.
Initial structural work for the new restrooms is about finished, so construction can continue soon on the front of the building.
Yeah, we've got our lintel system in to carry the load of the wall, so we can open it up. Matter of fact, we've got all of the masonry removed except for the very outer layer of brick, which won't take long to take down. The framing crew is supposed to be here Monday. When they get the outer walls framed and sheeted, then I'll open that up. And we also got the columns and the support beams for the roof system set out there.
Work on the medallions is set to resume soon too.
I met with the plaster crew. Probably the first of next week, they should be in a position to come back and start reworking these medallions. We're going to get all those done, finish the walls, and then move to the ceiling. And that should be taking place next week.
Bill Brock, Director of Public Works for McMinnville, explains the latest moves from the city to work on finishing the project.
The city, at the last committee meeting, decided to put some funds aside for seating, permanent seating, auditorium or theater type seating that wasn't in the original contract. So that is in place to purchase those. Also, a full-time position has been put in for the new manager of this theater, someone to look at the day-to-day operations and promote the theater. The theater won't be just sitting here to wait for people to walk in. We want this individual to go out and actually publicize it, push it, book it, and try to get it used as much as possible. Some money was also set aside for the office area. This is something that was pulled out of the project originally, and the city forces have gone in and demoed it, but we do need some things that the city is not capable of doing, like HVAC and electrical and plumbing, and they have put some money aside for that to get that accomplished. So things are moving along. The pace has picked up real fast, and I expect it to get even faster as we get closer to the deadline.
As construction keeps moving along, please make sure to stay tuned to the social media channels for the Park Theater Group, where we have each of these construction updates posted. Thanks for watching.